What's going on, everybody? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about what's changed for Fortnite Competitive in Chapter 3 Season 4. We're going to talk about the new guns, what's returned, what's been taken out, and the new map changes. The first thing on everyone's mind when hopping into a new season is what's the meta, what's worth using, and what am I going to think twice about before picking up. As far as the shotguns go, all of last season's shotguns were taken out and replaced with the lever shotgun, the prime shotgun, and the chrome shotgun. I'm going to say this right off the bat, the chrome shotgun is garbage. I really don't get why they chose to make the spread horizontal. It makes it impossible to hit more than 2 pellets on somebody unless you stuff it in their face, and at that point any gun works. If they changed it to shoot up vertically, maybe it'd be decent since you could hit the body and the head at the same time, but right now where it's at, it ain't it. The prime shotgun is what you're going to be using if you want to play kind of like if you had the pump. Just keep in mind it's like the charge where the first shot is essentially fully charged, but the rest of the clip isn't. For example, the green prime shotgun goes from doing 185 to the head to 135 after the first shot, so keep that in mind if you want to decide to keep it fully reloaded or not. And lastly, we got the lever shotgun. I've personally been waiting for this shotgun to come back for the longest. It does good damage, but you have to be closer to the enemy than you would with something like a pump, but the time between shots is super quick. I've had so many situations this season already where I'll go for piece control, crack a guy, and instead of following it up with something like a SMG, you can just make another play right away because you hardly have to wait for this gun to be ready to go. If you really know how to use the lever, you can get away with carrying 2 guns instead of 3 like we've had to for the last couple seasons. The ARs we have this season aren't too different from last season. We still have the hammer and the ranger, but instead of the scoped AUG, we have a chrome burst that doesn't have a scope. The downside is obviously there not being a scope, but because it's chrome, that means it'll upgrade itself as you deal damage, so it's going to be pretty good in lobbies where you'll need to get a lot of storm surge tags, especially since the starting rarity doesn't matter and they're easy to find. The Stinger SMG has finally been removed and 2 weapons have taken its place, the rapid fire and the suppressed SMG. If you're someone who still wants to carry an SMG after these changes, there are 2 ways of going about it. The rapid fire is kind of a worse stinger. It does less damage, has a smaller mag, and shoots faster, so the clip doesn't last if you hold the trigger down. This SMG doesn't have the mid-range capability that the Stinger had either. The spread is all over the place where the Stinger had tight spread even in hipfire. The only thing that this SMG does slightly better than the Stinger is up in your face spraying because of the fire rate, but this means you can't slip up at all with your aim because half a second of missing is basically half the clip gone. Outside of that, it's missing the utility that the Stinger had. The suppressed SMG does a little more damage than the Stinger, has the same clip size, shoots slower, and reloads faster than the Stinger. This is the direct opposite of the rapid fire SMG. This weapon is for someone who wants to have that mid-range capability and do some spraying, but rather than all at once, you want to prolong the amount of time you're actually shooting for. It should also be noted that the suppressed SMG does more damage to builds than the other 2, so it's great as far as taking walls go, especially since the clip is larger, you aren't having to reload every 2 seconds. With something as versatile as the hammer AR in the game, I really don't see myself actually running an SMG this season, but it's not something that I'd be upset about picking up and using either. The DMR is still in the game and the Hunter Sniper has made its return. The Hunter also now one-shots to the head, so get used to constantly moving around because you don't want to learn the hard way that snipers are back. Alright, so now that we got the guns out the way, it's time to talk map changes and what it means as far as rotation and where you can find mobility items. Anywhere that has anything chrome can be farmed and it'll give you these things called chrome splash. Basically you throw it down and it turns you and any buildings and even chests chrome. While you're chrome, you can enter the sand tunneling mode by pressing tactical sprint and you can jump around and boost. This thing is pretty good for mobility and you can use it to phase through chrome walls. Even if the wall isn't already chrome, if you double jump straight at it, it'll turn chrome and then you go through. I don't know how useful this will be if you're trying to get in someone's box because the gun pullout time after you phase through it's kind of slow, but this makes it balanced because then it's a misplay if you're doing it when someone's looking straight at you. If you come from a side or if they're not paying attention, then I can see this being useful if you don't want to phase through builds the old-fashioned way. The chrome lasts a full minute and the splashes stack up to 8. They're super easy to find so you don't have to worry about wasting them and they don't take up a lot of space in your inventory, especially in duos or trios because one can splash the whole team. You can get them from farming anything that's chrome and you can simply splash a tree or rock with it and farm that to get even more than you started with. I don't know if this is intentional, but even without being able to duplicate them, they're all over the place anyway and they last a long time. One more thing I think these might be useful for is if you're trying to rotate an endgame and you think someone's going to hold you or open an edit, you can just throw a splash on their wall and it makes it so that they can no longer edit and now you have more time to pass them safely. Even if they try and break it to shoot you, throwing one splash buys you that little extra time you need and can save you those heals or mats that would have been wasted if they beamed you. There are also some of these balloons scattered around the map that are essentially super launch pads. You just want to zipline up and out and you're gone. We have a total of 7 on the map, and the blimp at Rave Cave is back too, so there's one more spot you can fly out of. These small metal launcher things function like the old Spire towers from the Primal season, except you can't pull your glider after hitting it. It does turn you chrome though, and most of them are in the rocky area, same with the balloons, but they're still pretty useful. There are some new vaults that have been added, and by picking up a key from a chest, you can see on the map where each one is and how many keys it takes to open. As far as I've seen, each of them contain the same amount of chests and loot, so they seem pretty balanced, and you can actually get them in solos now since you don't need to scan your teammates. If there's anything new this season that I missed or you think I should have mentioned, leave a comment and let me know. Hopefully this video helped you understand what these changes mean for the new season, and if it did, leave a like and consider subscribing. Thank you for watching and good luck in Season 4.